Hello and welcome to my short video on auditory processing. As you know, with this 21-day challenge, you get one tip, one tool in order to help you, the parent, and your little one cope with grade 1. So as you can see, we are going to talk about auditory processing. So what is auditory processing? That's got to do obviously with hearing, how well you hear and how well you process information. So that is something very important that your little one must be able to do in class. He or she must be able to listen with attention and then take that information and use it. Now the problem with auditory perception is that sometimes little ones struggle to process the information that they hear through their ears. It can be sounds, it can be instructions, and then it feels like for you as a mommy, it feels like your child is just not listening to you or to the teacher. Or that might be something that the teacher regularly communicates to you as a parent, and that is really frustrating to hear that every time. So auditory processing obviously is where sometimes your child doesn't follow instructions or they're not following it correctly. So what can you do to assist your child? Obviously at the end of this video there will be information on how you can assist your child at home with a few activities that you can do, because sometimes it is a skill that can be improved with a little bit of practice. Now obviously sometimes it is actually the case that your child is so wrapped up in their own thoughts or what they are busy with that they actually don't hear you, that they're not paying attention to you or maybe to the teacher in class. So they're so busy with the task that they don't always hear the teacher the first time. And a lot of times your child will say, huh? Or what? Sorry, I didn't hear. And yes, sometimes it can be a hearing issue, but most of the times it's just because they were not paying attention to you or the teacher, and then they didn't hear you the first time. Another thing that they sometimes do is you give them an instruction to go and do something for you, and when you come back, let's say to the living room, you ask them to pick up their shoes, they didn't do it. And that's sometimes because they did process the information, but along the way of doing this task for you, they found something that's a bit more interesting other than picking up their shoes and go put it in their room. So a lot of this comes down to paying attention and focusing on what you or the teacher is saying. Now, sometimes when a child struggles with this, it's because they struggle to process, the brain struggles to process what they are hearing. And it's that the information is not quite sinking in. And sometimes these learners who struggle with auditory perception sometimes understands written language better than spoken language. What they also tend to do is they can't sit still and wait or listen to a story that the teacher is reading to them. And that's because they are struggling to focus. This also sometimes results in speech delays when it is hard for them to distinguish between certain sounds. For example, a child might turn a throw into frau or something like that. And that's just got to do with the way they are processing the incoming information. And obviously, as you know, processing sounds is a huge part of life. And it does become difficult if your child struggles with this. But that is why we are here to give you advice and tips in order to help your child improve with their auditory processing. So obviously together with this little video, there will be a little activity that you can do with your child in order to improve their listening skills and their auditory perception, what they hear and how much they understand of it. But if you are a really concerned parent and you would like to ask some of the professionals on this group some questions, you're very welcome to do so. Just leave them in the comment section. Right, I hope you're going to enjoy this challenge and you found this tool very useful. Bye-bye.